All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for My Hero Academia, Season 7, Episode 20. The penultimate episode of the season.
Yep.
And after that, just joyous ride of...
Joyous. Oh, man.
Hot and cold.
That episode unmade me.
Yeah, that episode was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And it just seems like that's been what the last 5 episodes has been like. Just non-stop. Just... amazing after amazing after amazing episode. And so let's see them follow it up, because
right.
I think they will. If this is how they're formatting it, where they're only going to do 21 episodes a season, that means they're choosing to end on something that they're like, nope, don't continue.
Yeah,
end it there. That's a great spot to end it, you know?
The fights that are all going on, I can't imagine are going to end with this season. So it's like, if we're going to end in the middle of combat,
or at the very least,
a few things,
or at the very least, at the end of a specific, fight,
right?
That's got me hyped. But we've got some things that are very much finale level stuff that need to happen still.
Right.
So let's have those happen here. Maybe a little bit of All Might and Stain.
Well,
All for One.
I mean, yeah.
Is that. We've got Uraraka and Suyu.
I think this might be weird. I think the Toga thing is going to be part of like the finale of the season.
Okay,
yeah. I think it's going to be that impactful.
Yeah, I think it'll be that impactful, but I think it'll be more like the thing that brings the wind down. Of the Sadman's parade, because then Toga will be stopped by that. But I think we need to follow up a little bit of it here, because we keep teasing it.
Yeah, it's
maybe
you're getting real cheeky, show.
Yeah, exactly. But then also just the fact that if we're going to have any more progress with Shigaraki and Deku, we need to at the very least understand like how their fight isn't immediately over.
Right.
In this very next episode.
Yeah.
Here.
How do we leave off? Since I'm guessing that fight is probably going to be the big one that, of course, will carry over into the next season. Where do you leave that off?
Right.
For a season break, like,
or unless they do like a movie to end it or something.
Sure. Yeah.
It's probably going to be something along the lines of All for One and Shigaraki rejoining, but it's it's not just All for One taking control. He's maybe so weak or what have you that Shigaraki has, actual like choices to make.
Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be really wild.
But yeah, really excited with how they're handling all the side plots being resolved here. So y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. All right, yeah. Give us a moment to breathe this happening. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You're truly alone. Whoa. A girl's ego.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, it's time. Yeah, it just does nothing.
Yeah, you can't stop it.
God.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Oh. Oh. Hey.
Yeah.
I'm here. Sorry, I'm late. Whoa. Whoa. Oh my God.
I like it.
Oh shit.
Oh no.
Oh no.
No. What happens when you lose someone?
Right. Oh.
Okay.
Her backstory. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh. Oh.
Oh shit.
Oh.
Oh god.
Oh. Oh wow. Right, right. Yeah. Oh my god. Oh!
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Okay, Comedy Woods.
Comedy
Yeah,
Woods.
yeah.
Good job.
Ah! Oh,
Okay.
shit, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you have no way of knowing who's who.
Yeah, you can speak to all of them in a lot of ways, yeah.
Sure.
Uh-huh. Right. She just wants to connect with you, yeah. Just give her, yeah. Oh, shit.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Just stay floating up here. Oh,
Shit. Oh. I never thought about that. Yeah.
A mask put out to survive. Yeah.
Right.
I can be myself here. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh, the mask is... Yeah, going away.
Oh, a girl's ego. Whose is it?
Well, it's like a tidal wave. Yeah.
That's what people said.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, you can sweep all of them away. Oh, that's so fucking badass. Yeah.
All right.
To give people lift, to keep them from falling. Like she used it in the very beginning, in the first...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but now there's only so much she can...
Right.
Okay.
While she's been stabbed already.
Right.
Yeah. Oh. Right.
What if we had met back then?
Whoa! Tears are floating up, yeah. Oh, whoa! It's touching all of them. Because they're all connected. Wait. She lifts the entire group of all of them. Whoa!
Okay.
Oh! 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 Yep, she made a connection to all of Himiko there.
Fly higher.
Yeah, I think they're continuing their momentum out though, so they're less floating up as they are floating like diagonally.
Right. One gigantic friendship bracelet.
Oh, but it immediately slips away.
Oh, because it's just a copy of... Okay.
Right.
That's right.
Yep. Oh!
As they spin round and round.
Right. I know what that looks like to hide that. Yeah.
This is why I wanted to be a hero.
Yep, exactly. Right.
Yeah.
Oh. That's why I'm here. Oh my God. What? That was gorgeous. Oh. Yeah. Whoa. Oh.
Gotcha.
Oh, that's so funny. Wait. The one Deku lookalike from like another school. That's so funny. Oh, now they're young again. This is. Oh. That's a hug, yeah. Whoa. Whoa. Like the darkness, the corruption, everything just flowing off of her. And right the timing when she basically accepts and leaves her murderous intent desire, the point where she could actually truly love Jin is the moment when she doesn't have any more of the blood left. Uh-huh. Oh. Oh, that's
all right.
That was flawless. It was just the whole conversation.
Okay.
Cinema. Absolute cinema.
All right. This is poetry in motion.
Yep. Poetry in motion. I want to give us just a minute, but like that was incredible. Horikoshi, you outdid yourself. I would say in a lot of ways, this episode was harder in my mind conceptually to pull off than what was established so hard and thoroughly in the Todoroki stuff.
Exactly.
But not to, take away anything from either side here, but basically that this conversation needed to be so impactful on multiple levels in order to work here. And yet it exceeded my expectations by a monumental magnitude. Right. And I have so much I want to talk about it.
Because I think we even mentioned in a previous discussion that while we've gotten some really good build up towards this conversation happening, it very much would be, the make or break would be in the conversation itself, right?
Yes.
Whereas with like the Endeavor, Todoroki, or Shoto, Dabi, that whole thing, there's been so much build up that we're perfectly primed for it, right?
Oh, we're perfectly primed for it.
It's the pitch right down the center, knock it out of the park kind of thing.
It's more the how do we line up all the pieces to make it work here. Whereas this one is we just have two pieces.
Right.
It's nice and simple as far as the actual setup, but the actual execution has very high ambition in terms of actually nailing it here.
And I really like the detail, like, because I feel like, on the one hand, there's a part of me that feels like I have very little to say about this episode, and on the other hand, I feel like I want to explore this episode.
Right? That's what I basically have here, is I have a lot of things that I've already, like, kind of in my head just taken from within this episode and gone, oh, I already did some exploring here.
Yeah.
I have very few specific things that are like, I've already got like theses, statements about, because they honed in on some things that I expected to happen, but I didn't realize that they would hone in on them this much with the symbolism.
Right.
There were so many things in this episode that I think can be taken to a broader context than just this immediate conversation about the themes of My Hero Academia, which I hoped they would do, but they took it in a direction that kind of subverted my expectations, to use the buzzword here, but also brought it all the way back around to not really their pasts, if you will. That was kind of part of it, but more in the idea that when we first met these characters, there was a key point of who they were that has been genuine and direct and open, and yet you could tell that both of their flaws was that they didn't know how to communicate their feelings.
Right.
So the idea that they were perfectly primed for each other without even really being written that way originally, I would say, and yet the story naturally flowed in a way that made them coalesce and spin together. There's so much that can be said about that from a writing standpoint, in that when Toga was brought onto the scene, Uraraka was already established in her thing here, but you could tell that Toga was made to be an antithesis to Uraraka.
Right, that kind of foil, yeah.
Right, a foil. But it was more centered around Deku than it was around their connection. So the idea that as Deku kind of leaves the world of heroes in a lot of ways, what ties these two together in the story and the plot and stuff also would change and evolve. So I have just so much to say about the themes here, but
the themes are fantastic.
The deeper stuff.
Yep. So episode. One of the things that I think was really important, that I was wondering how they were going to do this, and they did it in a way that really worked for me, was, what is the win condition for actually getting Toga to be stopped, right? And because in order for that to happen, we need to truly know what it is that Toga wants, so that way we can have that be addressed in a way that's satisfying and also hopefully save the day, right?
And we had it set up in that it was, she wanted to become all of her friends. She wanted to become everybody.
Well, right, but we had that. But the things that I want to focus on is that this was her grieving a friend that she lost.
Yes.
And then the thing that we got here, and we got that sort of like, hey, did you ever think about the fact that she never took on a villain name? She always just used her own name.
Yeah.
Right? And back then it doesn't really stand out much because we've got Shigaraki and Dabi, right? But Dabi, that's not his name, right?
No.
So, there you go. But then even after that, as they became more official and stuff, as they got brought into the League of Villains, why didn't that change? Because she always wanted to be herself. And I think that's something that is so fundamental, right?
Fundamental for her character, or
no, to just like the human experience, right?
Sure.
That we want to be able to be ourselves, right? And even the idea of being a hero is the belief that we could be that best version of ourselves, right?
Right. And so your best version of yourself doesn't need a replacement name, but more of like a catchy thing to accentuate the parts of you that you're displaying.
Exactly. And so to then go into like, okay, yeah, the idea of like hero names is like that. I'm going to protect my identity and all that stuff. Right. But if it's something where it's, not something that's being chosen, but more something that's being foisted upon you, right? Where it's, hey, wear this mask, right? Not to protect your identity, but to hide your identity because we don't like that, right?
That's kind of what a villain name is.
Yeah.
It's the, hey, we don't want to have to think about that you're a human, so we're going to call you...
We're going to make you a concept,
Yeah, we're going to make you a force.
Right.
And that's it. We don't want to humanize you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And there's
a lot to be talked about there, for sure.
And the thing is that that's something where it's such a simple thing, and yet I hadn't really thought about it in that way. Like, it had been brought up with like villains are the people that fall through the cracks of society. Okay, sure. But then the idea that, no, all of this has been that, Toga even being in the League of Villains, it's not to bring about some social change where she will be able to do that. No. It's just her actively doing that, right?
It's a way that makes life easier.
Right. And so,
that's it.
And so the idea that then, the way to reach her is very simple, right? It's to accept her. But there's the problem that she brings up of oh, sure, you can say that nice stuff while I'm a threat to you.
Or you can say all that stuff while we're fighting because I know at the end of it, you're just going to put me on death row and execute me.
Right,
very real stuff to bring up.
Nice, pretty words, right?
But you're just putting on the mask again.
Right,
yeah.
Whereas here it's Uraraka can't actually speak anything against that, right?
No, it's I will then just give you everything I can, my life, whatever it is, to save one person. That's what it means to be a hero.
Yeah.
I won't let you fall. I would rather die than let you fall here. And yeah, it's because saving you saves a bunch of other people. It's also because I want to save someone that I also kind of resonate with emotionally. It's also because I feel like in a lot of ways, Uraraka probably feels like I'm the only one here that can save you. So it's like a little bit of duty as well,
Sure, yeah.
And then also probably another small kind of fun element of this here is that my saving you is also proving that I've learned my lesson of going from from childhood to adolescence and to, the beginnings of adulthood. That it's not just about those that I care about, that are close to me, that I want to save. It's not just about making life easier for those that I already know, love, care about.
Of course she wants to save Sue, but she also wants to save you.
Right. I want to save anybody that I can. And so Uraraka's whole heart being put on display, if you will, her ego that she can save you as well is just beautiful. So yeah, the episode giving us that little flashback of the League of Villains, then being something where we understand a little bit more of what Toga's mask really is.
Right.
And that it's a protective measure to give her the freedom to live easily. Because I liked the idea that from just a certain point of view, she was not necessarily doing these horrible, awful things or even these scary things as a kid. But because maybe she did do something in a way, like with the smile or what have you, that creeped out the parents, they then inferred the worst from it when it's no, I'm just trying to figure out my power. No, I did suck the blood from my friend, but that was because I wanted to basically make them feel better, like a dog would lick a wound,
Yeah, exactly.
It's not me.
I didn't kill the bird,
Right. I didn't actually do any of that, but you pushed me into that direction. You in some ways made me put on this mask. And I think they did a really good job of showing that in a lot of ways, Toga, because she, was born with this quirk, this wasn't some all-for-one experiment thing or what have you, where he put a quirk into somebody and it made them this way later or something. She had to grow up with this. And any quirk that has some kind of self-destructive aspects, there's been some quirks that have shown aspects of this. I mean, Twice's quirk alone is one that could be one that would have made him an incredible hero, or someone that just would have been able to work out his way of fitting in society if he just had a proper support structure going into this here.
Yeah.
But Toga's being one that inherently reminds humans of something that they're innately afraid of. Just the idea of blood being something that ties itself to death. And then if you see a child drinking blood, you go, oh, I've seen horror movies or what have you. That unnerves me a little bit. I can't blame any humans for being unnerved by that.
Right.
But then what they do with that fear, I absolutely can.
Yeah.
You know, you're adults, so...
Right.
Yeah, and then I really liked that they went hard in on the not symbolic at all, very on the nose thing of let's send our kid effectively to mental and emotional conversion therapy,
right?
Where we'll be like, oh, you're not supposed to love like that. You're not supposed to feel like that. You're not supposed to.
This will make it all better.
We'll just you know, we'll just lobotomize you emotionally. You know, that's totally gonna work. Oh, how old is the kid? You know, like 4 or 5 or what have you.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, one of the other things that I really liked about like how they portrayed the parents was that there was very much the angle of like personal shame, basically, of the we birthed the monster, right?
Right.
Like if it's just the hey, this is a little kid, this is your baby, right? The whole situation could probably be resolved pretty easily, right? Like the kinds of stuff that they're talking about, just the offering that Uraraka made, right? Of like, hey, well, you can drink my blood.
You can drink a lifetime's worth of my blood. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, right? That's something that the parents absolutely could have done, right? You know, of just like, oh, okay, like, you know, if it's being faced from the perspective of acceptance first and foremost, right? Then it's all right. So what do we do about this? Okay, like, all right, you know, if you think that your daughter like hurt her friend or killed the bird or something like that, absolutely get to the bottom of it and all that stuff. But then if she's saying no, that's not what it was, okay, then maybe I don't know, trust them.
Yeah, I want to put out the point here that to compare this basically to some areas where I've seen enough basically like really scary true crime stuff to know that there's times where it's usually not because of just they birthed a monster. It's usually not that. But because of maybe some unfortunate incidents that didn't have anything to do with the parents, some traumatic stuff or what have you, there are some kids that by the ages of like 5 and 6 are like seeking to murder their parents and just seeking to kill, seeking to, and they like it. That's not outside the realm of possibility. And I love the idea here that this is in a superhero world and what have you. So the reality is stranger than fiction thing is absolutely at play here.
Yeah.
But if you're a parent and you see your kid, looking at your blood with, greedy, excited eyes, holding a knife or something like that.
Definitely get professional help for sure.
Get professional help for sure. But I think that one of the other points that's made in that is that there might have been a point where the parents were just really scared. Right. And rather than going to the right professional help, the point also is made that society failed Toga in that the professional help they went to, we don't know why they went to that professional help. But the immediate one that makes sense is you go to, health, like doctors and stuff like that, professionals first.
Right.
Like, going
to, exactly.
So we don't know that they went straight to that, but there's a very real point being made that society also failed them, in addition to the parents failing her. But
I totally get the idea that there could be situations where in superhero societies and stuff, if you get something like Rogue from X-Men and everything, then it's all right, hey, this is the power that you have, and so we're going to try and teach you how to deal with this.
But mom and dad are ill-equipped to know.
Mom and dad are ill-equipped to deal with that.
We don't know anything. So we're going to bring in a professional. This is so-and-so.
But then
they're gonna basically be helping you with this.
Right. But from what we saw it still wasn't something of like an actual like, hey, let's figure out what is best for you. It's we're going to put you into a one-size-fits-all program that is for the people that don't fit the already one-size-fits-all society.
Totally. And they were very on the nose with the imagery they used to describe what normal was.
Yeah.
It was I feel like it was very on the nose, but like they had a straight couple holding hands, and then they had a person laughing and sitting with their dog and letting the dog like lick them and stuff. And it's there, you see this here? This is what
be like that.
Good touch, what good interaction is.
Right.
And if you not doing this, well then, you're a problem.
Right. It almost feels like that sort of like fundamental, where. Why was this the conclusion that was drawn? Beginning of Frozen stuff of like, she needs to control her feelings. Oh, okay, we're gonna lock her up in a room and and make her scared and do all of this stuff.
It's the point that the society that MHA has created has glaring problems, and they've been building this up for seasons now at this point. But the primary one that's focused on here is that people slip through the cracks and society doesn't care about them.
Right.
That's true of our world. That's true of MHA's world. And Toga is just a very, very specific example of that.
Right.
And it's fun that in a lot of ways, the only way to reach somebody like that is to do what Uraraka did.
Yep.
Somebody has to basically be willing to risk their life, to risk everything, to get up close, get hurt,
right,
and accept them and reach their heart there.
It's okay.
And the thing is that, sometimes you just die.
Right.
You don't actually save the person.
There was a part of me that was wondering if they were going to have that happen, and I'm like, no, this is MHA. They're not going to.
She is bleeding out.
She is absolutely bleeding out. But Togo didn't like double tap, right?
No. In some ways, I like that they left that with the cliffhanger things here, because as far as the episode goes, I do want to talk about the actual fight and things like that, because we're talking like a lot of the symbolism of the preamble stuff. But the actual confrontation, conversation stuff being something where Toga starts to be able to transform into others in that moment there. And I liked that it was focused primarily around the heroes, not specifically the villains. Like, that was an actual block that she was having there, that in her time of starting to lose it, that she was even able to love Kamui Woods in that moment.
Gotcha. So the perspective that I had on it was that was because we had it mechanically set up that she could turn into the people, but she couldn't use their quirks unless she really loved them.
Oh, okay.
And so I think it was something where that was the this is how I can attack, right?
But she has to have their blood.
Right. And so because there was
I don't know how she got Kamui Woods' blood, but...
Well, okay, no, how a tree bleeds, I don't know, but
that was my point, was that it seemed like there was a point that was being made that she could have been transforming into the League of Villains because she had their blood, No,
right, but it's but even if she turns into them, that she won't have their quirk, right? So it's just you're a person.
No, I totally get that, but she wasn't using their faces to,
Right, because it's not gonna do too much if she goes at Uraraka with Dabi's face all of a sudden, right?
No, I get that, I get that, but it's just something that was intentionally being done here to put out the mask of who she's struggling against, to scare off the person that's rushing up to protect her. It's like a thing where you look at it from one standpoint and you see it's to do psychological damage to Uraraka. But it's no, it's a defense mechanism of don't try to peel off the mask. I don't want someone to get there.
Right.
It feels like the kind of thing where if she wanted to actually defend herself, she'd transform into those that are actually strong, that actually have
so that was one of the things I also wanted to kind of bring up, and there's from the element of the mechanics of the fight, right? A lot of the things that were physically happening is you have the characters and then you have, bodies rushing past them, right?
Right.
Because, you have, so many bodies. Not all of them are going to be thinking, I'm going to kill you specifically, right?
And they probably also aren't even given that fine-tuned of control or thinking that autonomously to be able to
right.
To
It's the we don't really need to worry about them. We can just stampede and, we have plenty of things to do. Focus on replicating.
Right, we've got stuff to do out there. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But
there's that. Overlook that for that reason. Yeah.
But there's that part of me that wants to think, and maybe this is just headcanon type stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That maybe the reason that they didn't all instantly die
yes,
is because Toga didn't actually want to kill them.
Yep.
She wanted to hurt them.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
She wanted to basically, this was her form of grief, and you can't show people how wrong they are if they're dead.
Yes. Oh, I 100% agree.
Because otherwise, there's no reason they should be alive right now. You're, even if they don't have knives or weapons,
you're bang on
dead.
Right. I had literally been thinking about that in the episode of I'm really glad that they're showing Toga not killing them.
Right, just holding them down and stuff.
Right, because
which is the thing that you wouldn't want to do if you have a time limit, right?
No.
You don't want to get permanent, consequences as quick as possible.
Yeah, it's the point that she knows she's only going to be able to do this for so long. She has stuff to do out there. They're not actually the problem.
Right.
But rather than actually start
taking
pulling them
care of
apart,
them. Yeah, exactly.
Which would be easy.
Just bashing their skulls in.
Yeah, exactly. No, she wants to show them. She wants to show them. Yeah.
Right.
So this.
She wants them to see.
Absolutely right. Yeah. But the idea that she wants them to see also the heroes and maybe specifically how scary they are to her. So
I like it.
That being something where it's
how does it feel to have all these people just lunging at you with all these scary faces and stuff, right? She can do actual proper imitations and everything, right? There's no reason that Tsuyu specifically had to look so scary when she's coming to eat Uraraka or whatever, right?
And the idea that Uraraka is the one that she actually turns her lethality on. Her actual desire to kill from, because Uraraka is starting to basically grab the mask and pull it off more directly, and I would say
and so
violently, rather than
I've got to take care of you,
right. But rather than asking Toga to take it off, that's the part that I kind of really like about Uraraka's fighting style, if you will, is that she is the one that makes people float, right?
Yeah.
But she's been trained in these martial arts and she has the tech on her gear and stuff. So once she's got a hold of you, you're never getting rid of her unless you literally kill her or tear her apart.
Right.
Because her power is all being maintained by her mind and her physical fortitude. Yep. There's nothing about her touch after that can be broken once she's got her fingers on
unless you somehow just physically overpower her, which would be very difficult to do if you can't brace against anything,
Well, no, I'm saying that once she's touched Toga, it's too late. She's already got you.
Yep.
You cannot stop that float from, applying until,
Also, the choice for the evolution of, Uraraka's quirk, right? In the ways that we've kind of seen with My Villain Academia and things like that, right?
Yeah.
She has a touch quirk, right? And so, we get the mechanical thing of so maybe it's all the things that were touching what she was touching, right? But, just want to point something out here. Right?
Yeah.
One, weight wasn't an issue here, right? She went far beyond the 3 tons thing. It's it's just happening, right?
Right.
I didn't really see, inanimate material getting floated as well, right? I didn't see a bunch of boulders going up and things like that.
They might have been on the ground.
Might have been some,
maybe.
But so maybe. I just want to throw this out there. And yes, is this a thematic thing? And so
it's absolutely a thematic thing. We've still got to talk about all the theme stuff.
But she touched the hearts of all of them, right? She got all of the Togas, and so whether it's because it's the physical contact or
is pink and she's kind of got that emotional heart of this side of MHA,
right?
And there's a reason for that,
and specifically in the episode also where we've been talking about quirks being affected by your feelings towards a person, right? Was was she able to truly love Jin, or was she just focusing on revenge? And that's not actually the kind of person that Jin was.
So
and so you weren't able
him.
to, you weren't loving him, and so you weren't able to actually use
might have
his
been loving
quirk
his mask.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Or what he was to you, which hey, still totally fair.
Totally fair, because that's the part that I'm ready to get into here. Can we talk full themes now? I've got the episode frozen on the image of the image. The dark wrapped like spider webbing.
Oh yeah, fairy tale witch, basically.
Fairy tale witch stuff wrapped all around this toga monstrosity with like distended shoulders and you know, thin arms and stuff as her like neck's all engorged and extended out. She looks like a nightmarish creature about to stab Uraraka through the head, and Uraraka's, you know, offering up, you know, her forearm to be, you know, bit. I love this on so many levels. One, because it's the kind of impressionistic, artistic thing that I feel like Horikoshi does to himself. Like he draws these things probably on his own time to inspire him to then write the conflicts or character interactions and stuff. Because the man, I would say, first and foremost, is an artist. I would say in a lot of ways, you can tell by the way that the character designs and the ways in which the characters' designs change reflect what's going on with them internally. And I feel like he captures that in a really powerful way. But Toga being someone who's wrapped in the masked material, and yet the part that's so evocative to me, if you will, is that her face is exposed. Now that adds to the nightmarish element here.
Sure.
But it's the part that Uraraka's fully focused on. It's the part that she's completely given to. Yeah. And it's the part that makes, I would say, Toga the most scary and the most beautiful in the way that she wants to be seen. And that she has fangs.
Right.
She has a very, very unique, specific smile.
Right.
There's a horror movie that came out recently called Smile. And it's basically of like these people that get like possessed with this thing that makes them smile. And then that creepy smile basically makes them end up dying, basically. Anyway, the point is basically there's something about beauty and the human, wonderful stuff that we can use to communicate and connect with each other that can become twisted if you have the wrong like approach to it, if you look at it the wrong way.
Oh, sure.
So Toga's smile being something that she just wants people to see that this is genuine. This is who I am. And the other people are going, oh, you're so creepy. Oh, you're just terrifying. And it's not because they're, you know, innately wrong because they have, you know, like a cold, heartless, you know, no human kind of would ever see someone smile as creepy or something. No, there's such a thing as a creepy smile. There's very creepy
smiles. Absolutely, yeah.
But the point deeper here is that Toga's smile doesn't have any lies to it.
Right.
It's something innately wrong, I would say, with humans in that we have to lie a little bit in order to communicate properly. We cannot show our true selves 100% of the time with perfect efficacy, accuracy, or what have you, because there's always some part of our ego, if you will, that gets in the way. So the idea that in this moment here, we're seeing the dark side of Toga, the part that's been warped and changed and all that.
Oh, yeah.
But the actual, like, image of this monster, the way that society wants to view her, is something that doesn't scare Uraraka. It's just like, yeah.
Right.
Oh, okay. I still see you.
The picture that we get is, I love the, like, sort of matter-of-factness that we get from, like, the little child Uraraka, right? Giving eye contact to, you know, Toga. Fuck. Not at all looking at all the scary stuff that's around Toga, right? All of the things that, you know, society would be looking at, essentially.
Right.
And the idea that the thing that Uraraka calls out is that honesty, right? I love that because that's something that I feel like
I wish I had. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and like I remember growing up very much thinking like, I'm definitely a bit of a weird kid.
Sure.
Right? You know, I didn't really feel like I fit in and all that stuff.
Oh, I totally remember that. Yeah.
Not the, you know, of course, not any
Not
kind
you,
of.
I'm talking about me too.
No, yeah. Not to any kind of anywhere near the kind of stuff that Toga goes through, of course, right? You know, but that is a very human thing, right? And I think that's also where some of the beauty of Toga being reached here comes from, in that so often we can, because of other people's responses to things, think that something isn't normal when it actually is,
or
right?
It just,
or if it's not normal, who cares, right?
Yeah.
You know, but normal actually isn't normal.
No.
You know, like it's a concept. There's no such thing as normal. It's a concept, right?
Yep.
And that might be helpful in certain times or others, right?
Sure.
The whole thing of like masks, like you were talking about, and how they help you communicate with people. Absolutely, right? You know, so that you can show yourself in a way that they'll be able to understand.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
right? Absolutely. But the idea that people wouldn't like also look at someone who is maybe weird, but is fully confident in being themselves and think that that's admirable. Oh, that was like the people that inspired me when I was growing up were not the popular people. Oftentimes they were the oddballs, right? Where, there were various different things that maybe didn't inspire me about them, right?
Sure.
But the things that would be that they spoke their mind. You knew that when they said something, that was what they meant, you know? And they weren't afraid, right, of doing something that might make someone look at them and say, oh, that's weird, right?
Yeah.
And so the idea that, of course Uraraka would find that, just absolutely attractive, right? Because it's I've had all of these insecurities about, in this specific case maybe, how do I tell Deku that I like him? Right? I
mean, yeah, sure.
But like that's the whole thing of her bringing up like how, originally I just wanted to like set up my family, right? Very, that's a totally good motivation to have and noble and all that stuff. And yet that's a very limited perspective. There are plenty more ways that you can be a hero, right? And so she started to see those over the course of the show. Yeah. And I feel like that's a wonderful way to make it so that the sort of structural thing of Toga being the foil and also like the romantic competitor kind of, right? Since once she was introduced, that was kind of around where Uraraka was actually starting to crush on Deku.
Right.
And then, but Deku's not here, right? He's not actually important for this. And so then it's what's the stuff that's behind the mutual crush. Sure. That's why they would actually have a connection and the things that they would, be able to find common ground on. That's not just we like the same guy, but the I would like to be able to, to tell him as confidently as you do.
Yeah, I would like to be able to genuinely reach somebody and not hold anything back there. So, I think we're ready to go full themes here. There are so many little symbolic things that I fucking loved about this episode. The idea that she touched all of the Twices, Togas, or what have you, is really cool because, yes, she reached all their hearts, but also the idea that this group, if you will, all these Togas are basically then just people that she saved here. She didn't just save the one that was in front of her that she loved.
Ooh, I like it, yeah.
Her actions to help one person genuinely and sacrifice ends up spilling out to then helping basically something on a societal level.
Right.
There's something so cool in the way in which Uraraka's desire to sacrifice to save leads to basically not just all the Twices being, lifted up, if you will, but also all the heroes that were there. They're all saved. That was not in her desire, if you will. That was not where her focus was. Her focus was on one person. And I think that you could take this all the way to the beginning of the show, in that there are moments when people make genuine individual connections with people and this happens in the real world, this happens absolutely in the fictional world where you can see things from that third-person omniscient perspective and know, because All Might gave his quirk to Deku here, that led to all these other things happening here. Because maybe Uraraka ended up helping a boy not trip and fall flat on his face in the moment when he's about to go into the school here. He didn't potentially lose heart or what have you and not give up in this whole thing or what have you.
Yeah.
There's ways in which we can make individual connections. I mean, that's what, in some ways, this whole season has been. It's been all the individual connections that Deku has made, for one, coming back and then helping make sure that key moments end up going a certain way. Right. And that's kind of what it means to be a hero, is you save whoever's in front of you. But by saving whoever's in front of you with pure 100% commitment, abandoned to anything else, you can end up saving so many other people. So I loved that. I loved the image of Toga slowly stripping off bits of this fake twice that she's had on her, and the kind of safe censored kind of version of her design where they're like, okay, we're gonna have like a pasty white kind of outline over her naked body, so it's not gonna be,
we want
causing problems.
We want
the
thematic implications of, like her bearing herself and all of that stuff. Yeah. Well, at the same time,
just being a little bit, exactly. Sensible here. But I loved that then the blood leaving her, if you will, was manifested as this almost looking like a smoky corruption coming off of her that then leaves her just completely free, just completely disconnected from that. And that came also in a fun way that it was like lifted off of her, which just feels fun given how Uraraka's whole thing is giving to this.
Okay, that's cool.
That if she's been burdened by all this, Uraraka's quirk is literally about...
Let those worries float away.
Exactly. It's about taking the weight off of that and just going, it's okay, you can let it go.
Yeah.
It's sad, it's tragic, because in a lot of ways it's the... I think I said this at the end of the reaction. I also thought that it was a tragic thing that in the final moments where she lets go of her bloodlust because of Uraraka, she loses the connection to Jin, and that she would no longer be able, because Jin is gone, ever be able to connect and love this friend in the way that she might have when he was alive. So it's also a true goodbye, if you will, to her final connection that she had in her past.
And yet...
For her first and only, if you will.
And also from another perspective, it's the... Well, yeah, right. You mentioned the whole she can finally let go. Because her losing Jin was her only real friend in the League of Villains.
Right.
Right? The other people were, pleasant coworkers and acquaintances because they accepted
good
her for who she was.
Yeah.
But they weren't friends.
No, they weren't.
Right?
They weren't ones that had her heart.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They didn't have her back, other than in the sense that, we're on the same team.
Yeah, and we're making life a little bit easier for you in that, she cares about them. Yeah. She does. Like there's an element there of that, but it's the reciprocal love difference that is what Uraraka brings. So her being the first in this new life that she could have is so just poignant and powerful. And
And the whole thing of her talking about how she loves easily, I really liked that was how it was said.
Yeah, that was the first words of her vulnerability in that moment. Yeah.
Because that's also the
bring that up.
If that's the thing that feels like it has been sort of your, I don't know, goes hand in hand with your curse effectively, right? Of your quirk and all that stuff. Then that also means you don't need to be afraid. Because, Jin's gone, right? You can let him go. But you don't need to worry because he's not the only person who loved you, right? He might have been at a point, but he's not anymore. And so that's all right. You've got someone else right next to you.
Yeah. I fall in love easily with all kinds.
Yeah.
I was told not to smile. I was jealous.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of fun also how much smiling is used in My Hero Academia to bring about like the reminder of what it what it is to be a hero. Because All Might's thing, his trademark, was his ridiculous smile.
Right.
Like, his just like, ha, 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 you know?
I'm going to smile even
And
in
laugh.
the midst of danger.
Right.
And that's how you know it's okay.
In a way that almost could be seen as creepy.
Oh, sure.
Because he comes in defying reality and going, no, it's okay. I'm smiling. And smiling in the face of all this violence and danger.
I would even posit...
that Toga was told not to do is the trademark of the number one hero. The hypocrisy is astounding.
It's well, and I would say it's to the point where All Might understood that to smile like that, yes, it is creepy until the point where they truly believe the smile, right? Where it's the
you have to keep smiling. You have to
keep smiling.
Stop.
It's the fact, once you think, okay, yeah, it is all right, then the smile's perfect, right? Yeah. But if you see All Might, maybe granted we know what the first time that he showed up was, but I could imagine the first time him showing up and him smiling and people being like, what in the ever-loving hell is wrong with you?
Well, they say it actually in the show, like, he's just smiling and laughing.
Like if not for the fact that he had the people on his back or whatever, right? That would suddenly become absolutely terrifying, right? But it's okay. Find the ways to smile that you can.
Yeah. Also, just a fun little thing here is that as they are talking, as Toga is slowly spilling out her heart, Uraraka is literally spilling out her life-giving fluid that Toga craves. Toga is intentionally not taking it because she desires the emotional connection and reaching out and spilling her heart than she does actually drinking blood. I thought that this was like a very just powerful thing because she's had the burden let off of her. She can say all this as she's weeping, and they're slowly falling, meaning that Uraraka's life is slowly ebbing away. She is losing concentration, if you will, on her own quirk as they slowly descend. And all of this is, contrasted with the fact that Toga is still holding onto the knife all the way down. In fact, there's moments where she starts to, and then she holds tightly to it, almost like there's a safety she feels in, holding the power, holding the knife here and there.
The ability to kill.
Yeah. Right. And I think it's this part here. She starts to let go. I wanted to bring this up here. They're following, just falling, just like you and Izuku. They just scold and lectured me on the right way to live. She's about to basically go, right, but I've let go of that. And then she's like, that's why I joined the League of Villains. And she regrips the knife, being like, that's who I am.
Right. And she goes to stab her.
Because that thing that you guys took away from me was the actual place that I felt safe for the first time in my life.
Right.
And the idea that she puts all the anguish, all the pain into that, but instead of it being I'm going to stab you, it's I'm holding on to this because I can't let go of this because I'm too scared. But I'm not stabbing out here to, thrust with I am so, angry and frustrated in this moment that I've lost myself that I want to stab you. It's no, I want to embrace you. But there's a cool thing that I'm reading into definitely too much with this, but that if Uraraka was scared, she might have accidentally gotten stabbed.
I was going to say the same thing.
Because Uraraka leaned into it.
Yes, she
actually ends up getting the embrace.
Attack that was happening.
Right.
The fact that she moved in and was closer meant that, yes,
I don't think she was intending to stab her, though.
Toga could have stabbed her eventually, but she would have had to adjust, right? It's the fact that she was so close that it just hits the shoulder. The arm hits the shoulder, and there you go.
Right. And then they transition to them being, young
kids.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And but it took me so long to realize. And then once she embraces Uraraka, that's when the final bits of it go away.
Right. Because,
Yeah.
she doesn't need it anymore, right? She has someone. Yeah.
Yeah. And then this was the other thing. She talks about the thing that made her basically reach out to her. I need you to know how special your smile is. And I really love that when you have a villain that has a mask, clearly. Like, they're being set up to be saved. In all the archetypes of the ways that a character could be set up, Toga was clearly set up as the, like, well, if we can save her, we can save anybody. So we need to save her.
Right.
Like, that'll show that, at the very least, Hero Society or the world of MHA has the opportunity to go down a better path and can change basically forever here in a really good way. But it's going to be hard. It'll in some ways be harder to save Shigaraki because of his power than it is actually to save Toga, because her power in a vacuum is not as terrifying as what Shigaraki has with All for One and all that kind of stuff.
Right, and you can do the thing of the, all right, have a, always wear a glove that has like only 2 fingers, for the glove or something like that.
Right. But the idea that you could hug Toga in this moment and be okay, where you couldn't hug Shigaraki.
Right, it's not the rogue kind of situation where it's like, no, actually just,
Yeah. So that's going to be its own thing here, but that what she actually desired, even more so than to be loved or to be able to vent out all of her frustrations and stuff, was that she wanted to be seen. And so the idea that she needs to feel safe to take off the mask, but then when you take off the mask, that's such a raw, vulnerable, and scary thing to do.
Oh, absolutely.
That it's so easy to feel that slight hesitation from somebody and go, oh, no, I don't want you to reject the true me. I'm okay, though, with you rejecting this.
Yeah.
And so the moment of her being like, yes, I love you and Izuku, but what I really want is for you to look at me and say, like, do you think I'm cute? Like, do you like me? Like, do you like me as I am here? And then they show the full Toga smile, fangs and all. Yep. And I don't know. I feel like this was the perfect way to end the episode.
And I think it's especially because, and you were talking about this with the whole idea of the mask being removed. But it's because Toga asked, right?
Yeah.
If Uraraka had just said, I think you're really cute, and that's it.
Right.
That would have come off to me as a bit trite.
Right.
It's the fact that Toga basically was willing to trust enough to actually risk it, right?
Yeah.
And
that only came about after all of this.
After all of that.
Yeah.
And I also want to point out that the fact that she's smiling there, right? Yes, it's the classic Toga smile, and so from the visual standpoint, that absolutely makes sense that you would want to have that, because it's, that's how she was introduced, and so that's how, we get her arc resolved and everything.
Right.
But if you actually think about it, what would it take for her to be smiling in that moment? Is it the fact that she's seeing blood? Possibly, but like she was seeing blood before and that she wasn't smiling, right? Like, no. The fact that she's smiling here is because she truly believes that Uraraka will tell her that she's cute when she asks.
Yeah,
right?
She has very, very high expectations of Uraraka here.
Exactly.
One of the things that I want to add to this, though, is that she doesn't start smiling, though, until Jin is gone.
Oh.
And this is the part where I still think that this is a tragic kind of moment here, is that depending on how this goes, she might be saying goodbye to Uraraka, too.
Right.
There's a very real chance here that Uraraka could die. There is no person in this immediate vicinity that could triage her in such a way that she would be okay.
Well, she's lost a lot of blood, so she might need someone to give her some.
Well, that's great, but that's not what Toga's, Toga does.
Well, but Okay, but how cool would that be if she saved Uraraka by giving her a blood transfusion of literally her own
and just
blood?
luckily it doesn't, violently go wrong because she's giving the wrong type of blood and all that.
Well, maybe
but that's how bad it is that you'd need a...
No, actually, no.
Oh?
Because one of the things we had established from, I believe, the very beginning when Toga drank people's blood is she could tell what their blood type was by the taste.
Oh, she can! Oh, so wait, you're right, she can!
I'm just gonna say.
Bro!
And I think that might have even been something that that was established, that they have the same blood type. I could be, memory is malleable. But because of her being because of the connection that she had with Uraraka and herself, right, and being like, They
did also show where her gear was.
Right.
Where Toga's gear was.
And the whole we like the same boy and all that stuff. I'm just gonna say, I think that could be a thing that happens. And how
if that is the case,
cool
that's also
that
wonderful because there's a lot of stuff with Japan specifically and blood types being a thing that denotes your personality.
Exactly.
That's potentially awesome. I'll hold on to that hope for now. But I think the point that I was making still stands here is that
the danger of
yeah, this one person, they saw you, right? But there's a possibility here, and this is why I want to look at this more from this standpoint for a second here.
Okay,
So let me sit with this for a second. Is that
Yeah.
if Jin is gone here, that's a horrific way to say goodbye finally.
Oh, yeah.
Right before you click with his heart, he's gone. 2, right as you click with someone else in their heart, they die.
Yeah.
Then who's there to basically corroborate what they learned from Toga and be like,
Sure.
she deserves a second chance?
Sure.
The person who's, potentially was about to go and, wipe out the entire nation. Yeah. We want you to give them a second chance. Oh, but the people that can test to her character and to who she is really, they just died.
Yeah.
There's a very real stakes thing that in my mind is still up in the air, even though I would say from a meta standpoint,
we're good.
There's no way Uraraka's gonna die here.
We're riding on Cloud 9, Rainbow Road, no deaths.
Yeah. The sky is lit up with their love right now.
Yeah,
We are going that. They have a flag behind them in the horizon. We win. It's amazing.
Well,
this is all.
Yep.
All that we could ever hope for and more.
But I want to say that I think that's where what you're saying is really important to bring up, because even if something doesn't happen from a meta angle, that doesn't mean that that's what the characters know.
Oh, totally.
And so the fact that she is willingly risking this by being like, I'm going to be vulnerable with somebody right after I just lost the one person who understood me forever. And now I'm going to let this person in, even though I might not have them for more than 5 minutes, Oh,
yeah, I know. No, I totally get that. But I want to bring up the cynical point of view because there's some things that kind of change your perspective a little bit when you don't look at this as a serendipitous thing, but more of like a survival thing. And that Toga in this moment has been so desperate for this, and that Uraraka has done the heroic thing of sacrificing herself just so Toga could have this moment. This is a moment.
Right.
This is not a thing that's going to change Toga forever necessarily. This is just a thing that no one else has been able or willing to do. Not even Twice was able to do this because he wasn't ever put into a position really to do something truly like this.
Right.
And yet it might kill Uraraka, and it's the cool. Yeah. This is why you can't have nice things, Toga.
Right. Then it goes from it being more of the character thing to back to the societal thing of, Uraraka decided to, go against the rules, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's not a societal change. That's an individual decision, right?
And so even if Uraraka does do this, the kind of stuff that would be needed in order to not then throw Toga into a padded cell, isolated situation in the long-term side of things is still ridiculously high.
Or just making it something where, now granted, I don't know if Toga would necessarily have a problem with this, but because her quirk is something that is very much built for the, hey, if you turn things around, you can reintegrate because nobody will necessarily ever find you, right?
No one would ever find you.
And so
if she just became somebody else, that would be...
Theoretically, even Uraraka.
Theoretically, even
a lifetime
Uraraka.
supply of blood, right? Where it's the, all right, we, live together or whatever, and, when you want to go outside, get a little sip, and then,
Oh, that
and
too.
then there you go.
Oh, no, that too. But there's the other cynical thing where it's the, like, thank you. And then
sure.
It's the Uraraka dies. She becomes Uraraka, forever.
Yeah. I mean, that is absolutely something that they could do. It's not going to happen.
But, no.
But yes,
as far as narrative consequences,
the twisted part of me that's like, yes, make stories, and then
hurt their reader.
right.
Hurt them so hard.
Yeah. In ways that they didn't know they could be.
Right.
Like, if you had something where it's like, Uraraka dies, Toga, just fully, I don't know, devours the body, Kizu style, and then just becomes Uraraka forever because she took everything,
Right, and then true love at that point.
And then Deku and Uraraka, I mean, Toga, Uraraka, it's Uraraka, get married and live happily ever after. Yeah.
No, I personally don't want... a Deku Uraraka ending in the slightest under any circumstances. I want in a lot of ways a more in some ways a more humble ending for Deku than a sure. I'm the badass hero who gets the girl and yada.
Although that would definitely be a way to put a spicy little twist on it from that meta angle if it's actually just Toga.
Keep that domestic girlfriend bullshit out.
No. But yeah, this was a beautiful episode. So much was writing on this conversation, and it worked beautifully.
Yeah.
The
themes, man, the symbolism, it was so powerful.
Yep.
And if this is the way that things will end with Toga, even though we are in a cliffhanger here as they literally slowly fall back to Earth.
Oh yeah.
The Shigaraki end, I think, has to go not this way because
we already got our, we saved someone, and so theoretically if we just save the one person, that'll still be enough, kind of a thing. But if we actually end up saving everybody, then it's like,
well, no, I think it's just there's no way, if this is what it would take to save Toga, that means we can save anybody. So I'm saying that it's something that we've been predicting since ever since
and that's why the Deku's the greatest hero.
The mall episode, at the end of season 2.
Yep.
But it's something where I would be very surprised at this point if Deku is able to save Shigaraki. I think there's a point to be made that you need to have at this point Toga be saved.
Yeah.
But then you need to contrast that with somebody that could have been saved.
And that's why I thought it was going to be Dabi. I thought Dabi was going to be that.
Well, Dabi's been saved.
No, right.
His family has reached him, but he still wants them dead. He's not going to have a change of heart in the immediate sense.
I don't know. That desire might have been put on ice.
Yes, funny. But I'm making the point that he will need the family long-term therapy visits over the decades,
Right,
so
right.
He could be saved, but he will not be saved in this series.
Yeah, he will absolutely be the, hey, while we help you rehabilitate, we will absolutely have, Shoto and maybe other ice people help with your cell so that you can be rehabilitated in a safe manner.
Yeah,
right. And your family will visit you very regularly, but
yeah. Or we'll designate, a way to, take those quirk bullets and just remove your quirk and, just save your life, most likely.
Oh yeah, let's be real. That would be a very humane,
wonderful way to end his story.
Not in a humane way to put, to kill the puppy or whatever that is sick and in pain or whatever. I'm talking the if you have a situation where because someone had a thing, they did all of this terrible stuff.
Yeah, you disarm the bomb. Yeah.
You disarm the bomb, and,
Right.
and great.
And then we'll work from there.
We'll work from there. Here's your second chance. We can't do this again. So if you end up doing regular terrible shit, we have to address that in a regular way.
Right.
But, you know.
But with regards to Shigaraki, since he's clearly being set up with also the All Might, All for One confrontation, I'm so ready for that.
And they
next
didn't
episode.
give us that in this episode.
Wait, but that means the next episode is going to be peak,
season
man.
finale.
So
Yeah.
hype. And that's probably why it's the final episode of the season, is that it's going to have, you know, the beginning of the end of all these confrontations and stuff. And then whatever's next is going to be just, yeah, I know. I know.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to just throw out some predictions?
What, that All Might's gonna die?
That All Might's gonna die.
I mean, I feel like that would make sense. I mean, that could happen. I'm slightly skipping around.
What are your odds on Uraraka dying?
Negative 10,000%. Like,
okay, I'm gonna throw out there Uraraka dies 5% chance. There is actually a chance. I think it is very low. It's a not one level of low.
It's an asymptote. We are approaching the Gojo infinity, right? It's the we're gonna be right there, you know, of the there's a possible chance and yet it's zero. You know,
I got you.
Like it's
No, I got you. I just want to throw it out there as I also believe it's basically zero. But like,
oh yeah, no. If Horikoshi wanted to be really spicy,
Horikoshi wanted to be a bastard,
if he wanted to be like,
I'm ending the series. I'm gonna start.
I can do anything I goddamn want.
Like,
you know,
Froppy almost died this episode,
and I'm
too.
really glad that happened because
that was scary.
And that was Uraraka was lucky that she was able to diffuse that situation quickly because that's the ultimate thing that you don't actually have an argument for.
No.
Toga could absolutely bring you down to her level and beat you with experience, right? The idea that, yeah, that's great because you've had a pretty good life. I'm about to make your life real fucking bad.
Yeah.
And then what do you say? Right? Like, will you still be able to, you know, you don't know any of the people that I've killed.
Right.
You can talk about giving me a second chance just fine.
Yeah.
But if I kill someone close to you, right in front of you,
right.
will you still be able to look at me and say I'm the cutest in the whole world?
Yep.
Will you?
Yeah.
Really?
And that's why it's so hard as the omniscient viewer to be like, yo, she's a murderer. Like,
right, yeah, like I'm glad that she has the quirk that lets her disappear, because if she disappears and she's never found, great, you reintegrated.
But isn't that the tragedy though? If she was forced to do that, and it's basically hey, you get a second chance, but your second chance comes at the cost of you never being yourself ever again.
Well, and that's where the whole thing of like you know, even if it's not like all right, we immediately put you on death row and all that stuff, right? Because there's different philosophies.
No,
around
that's why I'm saying Uraraka
rehabilitation.
has to live so that we can have a literal kind of, you know,
yeah,
Uraraka house arrest kind of situation.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah,
but that's also
because
a lot of
there will be
hopium.
arrest unless you do quirk stuff to disappear, right? Which, hey, if you do,
or we just start removing all
it.
villain quirks, you know, with some kind of
Yeah.
thing there, and then it's the like, hey, you know what the solution to the end of the series of MHA is? You just make everybody quirkless, and then it's like,
take away all quirks.
there you go.
Everywhere.
It's wonderful. It's easy. Yeah.
And then 50 years later or something, and then it's just our world, you know?
But all right, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion, we gotta wait because that's coming out week to week. But if you want to watch full-length timer reactions, go check out the links up here. Any level of support gets you access to our Discord, where you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime shows in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel. So yeah, if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.